everyone. Welcome to Moments of Introspection. I have my sister cousin here. Hey, girl. Charity Holland, Mrs. Charity Holland. She is, I'm gonna let you tell our friends about who you are.
I am Charity Holland, aka Mommy C, and I run a preschool in Noblesville, Indiana.
Yes, thank you.
That's all the introduction.
Okay, well, that's it. She's a mystery woman, guys. Mystery. But I'm so happy that you're here today, sister cousin. So, we were just bumping some ideas around and talking about some things, and both of us are business owners.
Yes.
And, I thought it would be kind of cool to just come on and for us to share a little bit about our some of the nuances of business. And I think what we're going to talk about today is, well, what did we come up with? Well, and just a side note. So we're both fabulous, as you can see. Yes. But this was on the fly. Charity and her family were here in Bloomington for some other business today. And so I captured her and stole her away. And, we decided that we were just going to do this. So I think it'll be kind of awesome. And hopefully you all will get something from it. But what were we going to talk about, Charity?
Was it vision? Was it about, sometimes how maybe vision changes or how you have to alter your plans based on, what you thought was going to happen and it didn't happen that way and then you have to change it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
And I'll answer the same question,
Okay.
but could you talk about a time maybe when you, not necessarily that you were rocked to the core, but a time when you had to shift and how you found encouragement or the courage to go forward with that new direction?
I think probably the major shift happened for me in my business was in 2014 when I had 3 childcare homes, and those homes had to close down because the city basically changed the guidelines of what was classified as childcare home. And some of those classifications were you couldn't have staff. You could only have the primary person in the house, and of course having 3 locations. Now it ended up, I needed to just have 1 with only 5 kids and no staff. And so how do you take a business that was flourishing, 3 locations, 16 kids in each house with 4 or 5 teachers in each location down to 1? So I had to make a decision whether to lose all staff and get rid of all children or do something different. And did I have a plan? No. Did I have this warehouse of money sitting saying, oh, this is for that time of life when it happens? No, I didn't. And so I had to come up with a plan that was going to work because I just didn't feel like it was time to close, And sometimes I think in business, you can have even your friends or family saying, well, this ain't working. I know you've been trying to work this business, but your bills is behind and your lights is off and you need to make a decision and go get a job. And so it hadn't got to that point yet, but it was crucial for me to make a decision to either stay open or to close and to shut down. And I just didn't feel like just because they came up with a new rule or a regulation that didn't fit my world anymore, that I'm just going to follow what they say. They didn't tell me to open. So I couldn't just listen to what they said as far as closing. I personally had to go seek God and find out what was the new direction, what was the new path, where did he want me to go with the business? And I didn't hear shut down. Now, I didn't necessarily hear move forward either.
Yes.
But I didn't hear close.
I'm going to stay there. I'm going to stay there. Yes. So listen.
Yes.
Did you catch it, friends? I'm looking at you. Did you catch it? She said she didn't necessarily hear close or stay open, but she definitely didn't hear close. Right. Now, some of you might say, yeah, she didn't hear close because she didn't want to hear close. But I'm going to tell you something. When you have a relationship with, if you call it Jesus, we do God, higher power, whatever you do, there's clarity.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't get everything. And I think
I call it the hallway experience.
Absolutely. Yes.
It's the
absolutely.
I'm working on a book that's called The Hallway Experience.
Okay, watch out for it.
But I think it's the hallway experience.
Yeah.
It's the experiences in life where you don't get reception.
Yes. Yeah.
You've gone too far to turn back.
Yeah.
But you can see light
where
you're going.
Yes.
Just a little bit.
Yes.
You don't see the full open door.
Yeah.
But you see a little bit of light.
Yeah.
Forward.
Yes.
But you're stuck.
Yeah.
In the middle.
Yes.
So what do you do in those hallway experiences of life? When you don't get clear reception?
Absolutely.
Because you're in the hallway.
Yeah.
You're in something that's unknown. You're in uncharted territory. You're in something
well,
different.
You have to move, but you've got to move. You got to go forward or backwards.
Yes.
And we know that going backward oftentimes is not productive.
Yes.
Because we're trying to, we're leaving from something. We're coming away from something. So we continue to move forward.
You've already got off the shallow end of the water and you're in deep.
Absolutely.
But going back is going to take too long.
Oh yeah.
So you might as well keep going forward.
Keep going forward.
To discover what's ahead.
Absolutely.
You don't know what's ahead.
Oh yeah.
But you don't like being in the middle either.
That's right. So you got to keep going.
That
kind of reminds me of the staircase experience. I call it the staircase experience. I don't remember exactly, and some of you friends may be able to say the quote, but it's something to the effect of, it either was Maya Angelou or Martin Luther King, maybe Maya Angelou, but talking about you won't know what you're trying to accomplish if you don't even take the first step.
That's it.
And so some of this is akin to that. You have
Steve Harvey
to
would say leap. It's the leap experience.
Absolutely.
Where
all
you're
of
coming
that.
down, you jumped, and you have your parachute, and it won't open. And you're pulling on it.
Sometimes it doesn't open.
And you're like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's right. And that's the part of business. And I'm not gonna talk about sister cousins. Let's just say she ain't on the struggle bus no more.
Woo!
Okay.
Look at God.
And that's why she clapping and say, "Ooh, look at God," because she not. And am I saying that there's not challenges?
Oh my gosh, yes.
That would be a lie.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is because you had courage in those hallway experiences and you chose to keep moving forward, you are where you are. But that's not overnight. Can you tell our friends how long you've been in this game?
I've been in business for 14 years. And the average childcare, especially starting out in the home setting, statistically lasts 3.
Yeah, I hear that.
They last 3 years and then they say, oh, well, this is not working. I'm gonna go get a job. And then they come back to it because they really love children, but they don't have the business sense to stay open.
Wow.
And so we've remained open for the 14 years, not one closure. But yeah, it's been crazy, but.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah. But I know, I mean, we know each other. So we talk a lot. That's why we call each other sister cousin. We are really blood cousins.
Yes.
But she's like a little older than me. I know she looks 32. But just a little bit, a few years. But we're very close and we have that kinship in business as well. And so I think that interestingly, again, oftentimes these are the things that are missed. So I want you all to be encouraged because we don't often hear about those alley experiences. We don't hear about the almost had to close down. We don't hear about I was discouraged because my plan A is just not working out, or it's time to shift.
Right.
Because sometimes greater is on the other side, right? But because we are so comfortable with that, I mean, you were running those houses. Like, I remember when I saw your 3, I'm thinking, Lord, this lady got 3 different buildings. She's got a curriculum. The stuff is tight, y'all. I'm saying, if you got kids, send them to her because it's tight. But, it's like, I was in awe because your capacity to do what you were doing, making it look easy. But I don't know, there might've been nights when you were crying and screaming and maybe you wasn't cussing like me. Jesus still loves me. This I know, amen. she wasn't doing that, but you know, crying and screaming and snotting and why, Lord, and clearly you've left me. This is real. And so
I call them the experiences that are like the photo album. You know, we don't tell the real story often. We just put the pictures in the photo album and say, look at the birthday party. Girl, this person came, we had cake, we had ice cream. But you don't show all the ugly pictures of how much money you had to spend before you started the party and who didn't come and why you was crying the night before and you can't get off work in time to even bake the cake or whatever it was. So a lot of times in life, we just say, look at my business. Look what happened. Look, oh girl, I'm blessed. But no, sometimes we need to go back, tell the real story because people have this false sense of reality thinking, I'm going to start a business and it's going to be grand, just like you. It's like, wait, hold up, sister.
Hold up.
Stop, pump the brakes.
Please.
Or we say, oh, I'm going to go ahead and start so I can just start taking my vacations and buy my big car and I'm going to hire 25 people. And
are you really?
It don't start like that.
No.
You got to work.
Oh, yes.
You have to work the business or it will work you.
Yes. And you have to be consistent.
Yes. Consistent is key.
Very consistent. You have got to be so consistent where some of the things that you do are like automatic.
Yes.
Where there's literally no variability in what you do. Because if you're consistent, then
when things get shaky,
absolutely,
that consistency will keep you balanced and level. So like one of the things that I do outside of meditation is every day when I show up to work, I write down what I have to do today.
Yes.
And that hasn't changed. That hasn't changed.
She's giving you a free tidbit, not even charging you.
And I sometimes put on there, pray, breathe, drink water.
Yes. Yes.
You know, close your eyes, you know, walk away, go potty,
yeah,
you know, because in my day, especially my office, sometimes it's an interruption. This child failed, parent called, I need whatever, interview, tour, whatever. I have all these things coming at me, but that piece of paper is that foundation that says, oh, okay, now I can come back to this since I just got interrupted 10 times. Let me come back to this. And it also helps me show a sense of accomplishment because I now see by 5 o'clock, wow, I checked off 10 things.
Yeah.
I've learned over the years, you're not going to get all of them checked in that day.
Y'all hear that?
Before,
yeah.
You know, going to work at 6 or 7, leaving at 9 or 10, I crashed. You can't do that. So, but now I've learned, you know, through trial and error, that, okay, I got 10 things and I still have 5 things to carry over the next day, but that's okay. I still did something. Pat on the back, kudos to me.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Yes.
And then you carry those 5 things over to the next day and you write your continual list because you're going to have a new agenda or whatever that is today. And you do the same routine. Yeah. And so I love that routine has helped.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. So routine, I would say for me is being able to set real expectations. You know, I think again, when you start a business, you have visions of grandeur.
Yes.
Not that that's not okay, but it can be really distracting. And I'm actually glad that we didn't grow up with Instagram. So we're not, everything that we do is not colored by some instant, you know, filtered life experience. Right. But it doesn't mean that we don't have moments where we have these, what I would call visions of grandeur.
Right. Well, when I first started, I was hesitant about starting because in my mind, I wanted a building. You know, when the Lord spoke to me and said, start a childcare, I'm like, I can't do that because I need a building and I don't have money and I don't have a business plan and I can't start because I, you know, and the Lord spoke to me and said, use what's in your hand. And I said,
y'all hear that?
What do you mean? Like use what's in your hand?
Wow,
well, at that time I had an empty house that wasn't selling. And he said, make that house a childcare. And I said, I don't want to start, you know, because sometimes we think, like you said, I want to start with this big building and have staff and all of this. And he said, start. And I started with me and my son. The schedule that I created is the same schedule I have today. And no children showed up for 2 months.
Y'all.
No children.
I'm sorry.
2 months. Okay.
Let me push this hair back. hold up.
2 months, no kids. But I was there every day.
Now, I want you to raise your hand quietly in your house, in your car. If you drive, and be safe. Only at the stoplight. But how many of you would be willing and have the courage, or let me put it this way. How many of you have refused to begin?
That's good.
Because you're waiting for all of the pieces.
Oh, wow.
Let me tell you something.
Oh, wow. That's good.
This is experiential, friends. You're never going to have all the pieces.
Never.
Even when you have what you think to be all the money to get it done, all the staff to do what you need them to do, you're still never going to have all the pieces. You know why? Because as humans, we're never satisfied.
Yeah, that's good.
We're grateful, but we're never satisfied. I'm not using this in a negative way. I'm just saying we're not, because especially if you're a visionary, if you are a goal setter, if you're like high energy, you always are shooting for more, right? You're always wanting to challenge yourself.
Yes.
So
Never.
Just get started. You have some of you that are listening or watching this, you have what you need. You literally tuned in, you turned this on because you were supposed to hear the message. You have what you need. Just get started. You're not going to get more resources if you don't exercise what you have. If you're not disciplined enough or willing or courageous enough to use what's in your hand, why do you expect to get more? How can you be trusted to use the more if you don't use the little?
Yeah, it's true.
I love that.
It's true. So I had to,
wow,
develop what was necessary for longevity in the beginning. Which was that consistency, even with that. And I'll never forget it. It was a time after, those 2 months had started passing where I felt like I must have misheard.
Yeah.
Like, this is not how it's supposed to be. Like, I know God told me to do this, but why isn't any children coming? And so in the beginning, I was just, oh, let me do Craigslist. Let me try this. I started out like doing marketing ads and sending out flyers and all these things, spending a lot of money, exhausting a lot of the resources that I did have. And I just began to steel myself and say, how can I be different? How can I stand out? And of course, I started picking up some business tools. One of my business models that I still hold true to today is if you always do what others refuse to do, you'll always be in business. So I started lining my business structure. What are other childcares refusing to do? Example, they don't want to open early. They don't want to stay open late. What are other childcares refusing to do? They don't want to serve 5 meals a day. They definitely don't want to teach potty training. They definitely don't want to have, whatever, gloves for diaper changes, because that's exhausting their resources in the budget. So I started aligning my business for difference instead of what everybody else was doing.
Yes.
And I still do those things today. And,
wow.
So that was the thing that I needed, but I'll never forget, I got a phone call actually from my sister-in-law. And this was at a moment that was breaking for me, where I was like, I must have misheard. Like, I need to do something else. Go back to nursing or go back to sales. And she said, I know you're not second guessing. Wow. And I was like, like, she just called me out of the blue. Are you okay?
Wow.
Like, yeah, I'm okay. It was one of those days. And she said, you're the same woman that had a baby's room without a baby. Clearly.
Y'all, let me tell you something.
Oh, gosh. You can have a childcare without children. Because this is the same woman that had a baby's room without a baby. And you just trusted the process. So just wait. If God told you to do it, he's going to fulfill the mission. And I kid you not, I'll never forget it. The next day, somebody enrolled. It was like God knew that I needed somebody to come in right at that moment, because that was also my breaking point. I was like, if somebody don't show up tomorrow, I'm out. And they've been coming ever since.
Y'all get that? I hope you're taking notes.
Oh gosh.
Because, and I'm telling you, I ain't gonna tell my sister cousin's business. But those of you who practice faith, this lady right here, man, I'm talking about, she gonna make it into the kingdom. I ain't kidding. They gonna welcome her at the gate, friends.
Oh, I hope so.
Because seriously, because her level, the expression of her faith through her action is like, it's on another level. It's like, you know how sometimes you talking about you want to be on a diet. Okay, I'm telling myself. And you buy all the stuff and you last a day. She don't do that. This lady right here, through the tears, through the criticisms, through the whatever. I mean, I felt like I was a faith walker, but she got me, I pale in comparison to her level of, Lord, this is what you said. And I trust you. And I will go out looking crazy.
Right.
But I'm going to do what I believe my assignment to be.
Right.
And that's another lesson. You know, don't be wishy-washy.
That's good.
We can't, there's a flight or a flee response. There are times when it's time to close down. But again, let your decision be registered with peace. Just because it's hard doesn't mean you're supposed to stop. What if every mother stopped when the labor pain was too much to bear?
Or just because it's easy doesn't mean you need to stay.
You better
just hear and do. Hear and do, regardless.
She said hear and do.
Hear and do. So it's he didn't ask you to figure out the plan. And I think so many times we try to figure out what the end result is supposed to be. That's not our job. I realize that's not my job. My job is to just follow suit.
Oh yeah.
You know, we want to question, well, how am I going to do this? How is it going to work? How is it? What's going to happen?
Take the first step.
Yeah. My father used to say it's like a puzzle.
Yeah.
All he has to do is put down the first piece. But so many times before we, you know, put down the first piece, we want to see what the puzzle looks like.
Oh yeah.
What's going to be the end result?
But do you know how many people do that? There's so many people who literally, because I've had people tell me, you know, they will look at the puzzle box and it has 1,000 pieces.
Oh, I can't do that.
And they'll pass it. They won't pick it up at the local department store because they're like, there's no way I could put 1,000-piece puzzle together. Well, you haven't even opened the box and took out one piece.
Right. And you have to segment. That's a good way too, to process the business things that you have to do. I'm gonna work on this piece right now. And then begin to add. And so over the years, over the 14 years, I've grown to be the original vision.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
But it was a process.
Yes.
And so many people don't want to go through the process of the building, of the laying the single piece down. They want to have all the edges perfect. They want to have all the colors. And and it's really, and sometimes you're not the one designed to put all the pieces together.
Well,
that's a whole nother message.
Oh, that's a whole nother thing.
Because sometimes you meet somebody who had that piece you were missing.
Yes. Oh, listen.
And they're like, did you need this? I was holding on. And it's like, girl, I can get a business loan.
Yes.
Or I can get my own 800 number or whatever it is.
Absolutely.
You know, so they begin to lay down pieces. And you're like, that was what I was missing.
So I can speak to that in my business. Yes. I mean, you know, I'm a visionary, but you know, I ain't shame on saying it. I own a gourmet, one of my businesses is a gourmet popcorn shop. I've said it in countless interviews. People that know me intimately know this to be the truth. I abhor cooking. Do you understand what abhor means?
Can't stand it.
Hate it.
Can't stand it.
I be yelling through my house sometimes for my invisible chef. You're fired because you didn't show up today again. You know, I hate it.
Yeah.
But I have a food business and it's thriving. Praise God.
Yes. but you love flavor.
Yes,
So
I do. I'm a creator. I'm creative. And talking
Right.
about the pieces,
Mhm.
there are my team, my managers. They do the stuff that needs to be done to have a thriving and successful business.
Yes.
I have people in there that cook and they cook well. My God,
Yeah.
I did this one interview. Lord, I was so ashamed, y'all. Lord have mercy. They wanted to get a picture or video of me adding some stuff to the pop. I burnt it up, y'all. And my manager was like, Lord, sis, I got you. I'm like, yeah, see why they asking me?
Because you're the owner, supposed to know. It's no different. It's no different. I've had staff come in the office and say, Mama C, I need pens. And I'm like, hold on. And they'll look at me like, you own the business. Like, why don't you know where the paper clips are or whatever? And I'm like, well, clearly because that's somebody else's job.
Absolutely.
I'm okay with knowing what I'm supposed to do.
Yes.
You're wrong for coming in here asking me to get it, first of all. Second of all, it's not my job to do everything just because I own it.
Yeah.
Or run it or manage it or however you want to say it.
Yeah.
And so many times I think businesses fail.
That's why they fail.
Because they don't really fine tune what they're good at.
Oh yeah, that's why they fail.
That's why they fail. And they don't put the right people in place to do the proper things.
That's right. That's right.
Of what they're good at.
That's right. And does it mean that, God forbid, if every single one of our employees weren't able to be there for some reason or quit, could the business, would it close? No, it would not.
It would not.
But
yeah.
Because we wear ourselves out doing all the stuff, but we could do it. So don't be mistaken. It doesn't mean that we can't do it. It just that means that there are other tasks we need to be doing.
Right.
We need to be able to delegate.
Right.
All of that stuff. You can't have a successful business without understanding you're not siloed. There are some businesses. Some of you have consulting things. Like I'm a consultant. I do I have other businesses. Those are more singular.
Right.
But this particular thing, I need people. I have a team. I would be a lie to sit here and say I could do the whole thing myself. I can't, and I have no desire to do. And I've been blessed to be at a point in the business to where it's scaled enough to where to remain successful, I have to have other people.
Right.
And I'm delighted about it. Exactly. So, I think that that's so true. Also knowing, so when was it difficult at times though, for you to shift responsibilities?
Absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I'm at this point in my career path where I'm now thinking about legacy and thinking about retirement and what are your goals? And people are asking me the hard question. I'm like, I don't want to put anybody else in the seat. Like, that's not even, what do you mean somebody else is gonna do my job? Like, no, that's not possible. Right. So, but the flip side of that is you have to start training people to do what you do, or maybe not do it exactly like you do it, but trust them enough to do their piece, right? And sometimes their pieces grow. You might think, oh, they're going to do 10% of this and 20% of that, but maybe you have to shift them to do 50%, or you may need to put 2 people to handle the 50% or whatever it is. So you have to be willing and flexible enough to know when it's time to start altering those original plans, right? Because as you grow, there's something about sometimes growing too fast. And you can grow so fast where you end up losing everything that you worked hard for. So that's the thing that I'm really careful about, especially now. And people are, the first thing people say is, oh, you should franchise. You should franchise. You should that's not my dream.
No.
And so many times people will dictate how they think your business should look. But these are the same people who told you to shut down.
Oh yeah. Listen.
I'm like, why you that you see that it's working.
Yeah.
You want to come in with, oh girl, I'm so glad. Why don't you go ahead and get a second, third? Well, you're the same person that
now you're my business consultant. Okay.
Now you tell me to, oh no. No, that's not what we do.
I remember. I still love you.
But you're the same one that told me to close.
But I remember.
So, no, we're not.
Girl.
We're not doing that. So you have to be able to be strong enough, even as your business changes, to still hear and do.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. And realize who you need to hear from.
Oh yeah.
Because people they're always going to have an opinion.
All the time. And I think also what would you say to the importance of being stealth or being quiet in your movement? Because we both do that.
Ooh.
Being quiet until it's time.
Right. Now, I have an opinion about both angles.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So yes, I think it's in some pieces you have to move silently. But then I also feel that's why my faith is as strong as it is, because there are moments where you openly announce something that's unseen. Because it's starting to grow so much, it's going to be noticed. So you might as well tell the story. So it's almost like a mom who is expecting. Right? Yeah. Sometimes women are real careful. Well, I better not say nothing because I'm in my first trimester.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm going to lose the baby. So now I'm kind of talking from experience, because the miracle child that I wasn't supposed to have was growing inside of me. I'm not about to be silent about this miracle. I'm going to tell the world about this. I had church people saying, you shouldn't be praising God, girl, sit down, because you could lose the baby.
Oh, wow.
But it's the miracle that God gave me.
Wow.
So if I'm going to believe it to the end, let me celebrate now. Because sometimes we want to say, I'm moving in silence. I ain't telling nobody. Because you really don't have faith for it.
Well,
because faith,
hold on,
is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not.
Let me get something to cover my face up. I'm looking for something to cover my face up.
So we're like, I'm not going to tell nobody I'm moving in silence. But real faith is bold, and it speaks, and it says, this is to come.
Well,
when you don't know what's
you better let the people in the back know.
So for me, I understand both angles. Right?
Yeah.
But I operate more with bold declaration that this is about to happen.
That's all right.
I know we're moving. I know we're expanding. I know we're growing. We're not going to be at this many kids this time next year. We're going to double this. And people will look and hear and doubt like,
oh yeah,
she ain't going to do it.
Yeah.
And guess what? Boom. Now it's a testimony. Wow. That happened exactly how she said it. Well, I didn't know. I just believed and I trusted. Wow. It's no different than a woman saying, I'm going to get married one day. They don't see it. Matter of fact, he ain't nowhere around. They ain't even date nobody. But they speak it. I'm going to get married. I'm going to have a house. I'm going to build this. I'm going to get a car. Oh, I'm going to get a new car. So guess what? You start seeking out, you start going out, you start looking, you start test driving, you start looking at homes, whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Now I will agree with that.
And you stir up the thing that you want.
Our words are powerful.
Yeah, our words are powerful. Oh, yeah. So when I wanted a child, although the doctor said I couldn't have a baby, I started doing everything that was related to babies, throwing baby showers, babysitting, being godmama.
Yep.
Because I wanted to cultivate those things.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What I wanted.
Yeah. Oh
so,
yeah.
So many times we spend time hating other folks who got what we think we want. I ain't gonna support her business.
That's terrible. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And so, I definitely try to make sure I'm a big supporter of small business.
Yes.
Because
she is.
Because I understand,
there's
those times when
you need somebody.
So I have no problem writing a check.
And she does.
Or pushing, right?
Yes, because absolutely.
I needed somebody to push me and to do for me. Sometimes it wasn't there. So now that I'm in a place where I can, then I'm going, I'm going to support. What can I do? You need to buy something? What you want? You need, some products. I'm going to support with this new flavor or whatever it is. So.
And she does. And like I said, I ain't going to tell her business because she don't want me to and she don't need me to.
Right.
But I am telling you, she is telling the absolute truth. I mean, the seeds, this child has planted seeds and she's growing a harvest, and whatever that means to you, catch it and run with it. It's good to support people. It's good to be genuine and kind and concerned for people, because especially if you are aware of, or you have a sense of the circumstance that they're going through.
Right.
Especially trying to build a business, trying to build something, trying to build a family. People need to be encouraged. Right. And so
hear and do.
Yes.
We back to the hear and do.
Yes.
Because so many times, I don't want to make it seem like God is always speaking like that.
Mhm.
But there are times when he speaks and he gives little nudges.
Oh, I would agree with that.
And we ignore.
Yeah,
I'm
of
not
course.
gonna do that. She all right.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
Get him
1,000%.
$100. Well, she don't need it. She
Yeah.
good.
Oh, yeah.
Well, why am I giving her $100? She didn't give me nothing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, we do get
and
little
we
nudges.
we miss
That's right.
the plan of what, because
Yeah.
really it's not about you doing for the other person.
Yeah.
He's really trying to get something to you.
Mhm.
Every time that I've listened to him
Yeah.
say do,
Yep.
it always came back.
Every time.
It
I've got the
always
same,
comes
I've
back.
got the same experience.
It always
I've got the
comes
same
back.
experience.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we don't even know or understand.
Right.
You know, and I think having the capacity to be flexible and open, having your plan,
Mhm.
and this can be what you feel is a divine plan, but being willing to say, okay, this is the sense right now of what needs to
Yeah.
happen, and this is the
Right.
direction I'm going to walk
Right.
in. It's even like today for this podcast. This was not planned
It was not planned.
at all.
We have been talking about
Yeah.
but this particular, I mean, I wouldn't have wore a Mickey Mouse shirt.
Yeah, and you know, I probably would have maybe not had this undershirt shell on this.
Hey, look at my body.
Let the people know. Nah, that's different.
Right,
now.
different program. We got it. Okay, we
Let's
good.
pull it in. But you know, seriously, this was not.
Whoever I'm called.
This was not planned, and it's totally unscripted.
Yes.
But
It's needful.
absolutely,
Mhm.
and I just felt strongly that we needed to do something.
Right.
And I'm really hoping that you're getting something from this, because
Right.
this is just two real chicks talking about real
Absolutely.
stuff, talking about
Right.
the lives that we live and the
Mhm.
lives that we continue to live,
Mhm.
to not only experience, I would say, the blessing and the joy and being able to bless other people,
Right.
but also just being fulfilled.
Right.
There's something about doing your assignment
Purpose.
that
Mhm.
is so fulfilling,
Mhm.
even through the challenge. I mean, I
Right.
can say,
Mhm.
even in, because I've had people tell me like early on, well, you're struggling with the house. You might almost lose the house. Why don't you just close the business?
Yep.
And you know, then be the times when I'm like, well, first of all, your advice is not helpful and it's unsolicited, but
Mm.
I want to throat punch you, but I'm not going to, because I don't want a battery charge.
Right. And a lot of times it's going to be close people.
Oh.
And there are going to be
Oftentimes.
times when you have to cut loose of
Mhm.
those people
Mhm.
who aren't speaking faith
Mhm.
in that moment.
Mhm.
And
Right.
I've had to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Where, nope, you're not speaking what I hear.
Yeah.
So I'm going to cut you off
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
stop talking to you right now.
Yeah, right.
Because you're not helping.
Mhm.
I need to hear clear. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna steal away
Yeah.
and
Oh,
make
yeah.
sure I hear clear.
Yeah.
Because I can't get distracted
Mhm.
on all these other voices.
Well, and I think too, this is how I feel. It's impossible for somebody else to know your complete assignment.
Especially
I
when you're a
mean-
trailblazer.
Absolutely.
Because you don't know.
Somebody can sense stuff.
don't
I
know.
think there's people that can sense stuff around you and sense
Right.
things about you. There are
Right.
people who are very discerning and feeling, et cetera, et cetera.
Mhm.
But you can't tell me, I'm not gonna believe it,
Mhm.
that I, sister cousin Tati, is gonna know every single nuance of the assignment for sister cousin Charity.
That's it.
There's no way.
No.
Because she don't even know.
I don't know. He didn't
So-
always reveal it to us.
Why am I
Yeah.
gonna be gifted?
Uh-oh. Have the anointing to
Yeah,
tell all of the stories.
be able to fortune tell
Yeah.
and
Well, I mean,
foretell
yeah.
every single step
Yep.
that she's supposed to do.
Yep. Even
This don't even,
prophecy only comes in part.
absolutely.
word.
So
So
whatever you
It's not going to
believe,
be the full picture.
prophecy, go to the
Yeah.
fortune teller,
What-
tarot reader, whatever your thing is, all of it. I don't care, whatever your thing is, nobody
It's going to know the
is
whole
going
plan.
to be able to give you.
Yes.
See, this is where
Uh-oh.
you got to still away.
Still away.
Whatever it is that you're focusing
Yeah.
on,
Mhm.
pray, meditate, whatever you need to do, quiet yourself. Sugar, quiet yourself.
Sugar lump.
See, now we're getting crazy. And get a clue.
Yes.
get an answer and be patient for that thing. Because seriously.
Because you're going to need the answer from that.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be multiple times where
absolutely
it looks bleak.
Yeah. Or where you don't know which way to go.
You don't know which way to go. Your storm, it goes back to the hallway. There's multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
Not just one time when it happens. There's multiple times when it happens.
So you need to develop that muscle.
Yeah. Yeah.
That muscle for discipline.
Yeah.
To quiet yourself and hear. Yeah. And then do.
Yeah.
You know? So, well, listen, we could be here all night.
All night.
But do you have anything else, just a last nugget to share with our friends to encourage
the closing remarks,
the benediction?
Pray the people out.
What's your last note for us?
I guess my closing remark is I think, and I feel strongly about this, and I know we've talked about it a lot. So many times people use in business excuses. And if I could say anything, if you're going to run a business, just run it. Be about business when you run business.
Well,
if you say you open at 7, open at 7. Or take it off the board. If you say we're serving chicken, and every time I show up to your restaurant, you out of chicken, then take it off the board. If you say, well, we are the best in town, then you better be able to back it up. If you say, you know, I'm different, or whatever is in your advertisement, do it. Because I am so tired of the excuses that we make when we say that we're in business. So if you're going to be in business, run it with excellence. If it's small, if it's big, I'm just starting in the corner of my bedroom, or I'm selling it out of my kitchen, or I'm sending it in the mail, make it look excellent, present it with excellence. As Bill Cosby, well, I don't know if Bill Cosby's the best example right now, Jesus, but it was on one of his shows.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah.
The daughter brought the fiance home.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And didn't tell him nothing about the fiance. And he said, he gave the analogy, you brought this man to us on top of a garbage can, like you put the food on the garbage can lid and say, will you eat this steak? But it's on top of the garbage can. So it's the presentation that altered what we were getting served. So we cannot continue to serve people mediocre, or serve people half-hearted, or serve people without at least giving our best effort.
Yeah.
And so I would say to any person trying to do a business, give your best every day. And if you can, close up. I'm sorry.
Well, but there's no apologies.
Hey, just close up.
There's no apologies.
Help us all. I got to deal with all the bad reputation.
And go somewhere else to find some chicken. Lord have mercy. Well, this is true. So, I mean, you know, be a person of integrity is what she's saying. And so, you know, I'm just, listen, I do hope that you enjoyed moments of introspection today. Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much, sister cousin.
Yes.
You the best. Thank you. And I really do, friends. I hope you enjoyed this today, and certainly be encouraged.
Yes.
You know, we could be here all night really sharing, and I'm sure there are other times when we're going to give you additional tidbits of our story, just to encourage you, to let you know, hang on,
you can do it,
because we're here because we hung on.
Yes.
You know, and we're in a lot better places in our businesses in terms of, you know, just not having so much stress. From the beginning, you know, we both are, and it's a tremendous blessing. It is. So just hang on. All right, friends. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you another time. Bye-bye.